I consume all media channels, really. I don't think there's anything that you can avoid or not see. I guess that's kind of the point.
I see a lot of ads on Instagram, like brands I follow, that sort of thing. So you see a lot of what they're up to, their latest stuff.
I like having physical copy of things to look at rather than always digital. I think it's refreshing to look at something and hold something. It adds more value to it, in my opinion.
Snapchat, you don't really get a choice anymore whether you watch an advert, so you can click the channel you want to watch, but also between stories, stuff's coming up, so it's almost being forced upon you, which is really interesting. I feel like there's too much obsession trying to target millennials all the time, and they should be given a choice over what they watch rather than just being sort of force-fed information.
The way in which this generation are using media and channels and technologies to discover their worlds and to connect with people in their worlds is so different to how my generation and my parents and my grandparents' generations would have used channels and technologies to discover and to connect. So we're practically not the same species.
You watch Netflix instead of TV, where you don't have that much adverts. So I would say mainly social media is the way what I get it.
I think consuming ads, obviously we're bombarded with digital ones, but I actually prefer the more traditional based advertising, sort of the radio adverts and stuff like that.
In terms of like afternoon viewing, it'd be almost Netflix exclusively, occasionally sort of catch up on Sky, and then things like Instagram, Snapchat to a degree, but it feels like you're often wasting your time on it.
Primarily sort of mobile, social, digital, and then the sort of TV catch-up sites online.
I'm obsessed with Instagram, and I think it's a really interesting place to kind of discover different trends in advertising as well, because it's a kind of artistic expression in a slightly different way.
They consume media in a completely very different way. And when I look at what I do, it almost reflects the sort of portfolio I took around ages ago. You know, I do TV, radio, press, print, and that's pretty much it, with a bit of online. I do Facebook and Twitter, but even talking to students about, did you see that TV show last week? No, they didn't, because they don't have a television, because they consume everything, almost everything online.
I think it's just incredible how much of an impact brands do have in our lives, almost as much as these media channels.
What big brands have done is they've been around for so long that they now have an emotional stake in me.
The thing about sort of the ethos of the school here is that you can sort of make changes, big changes in the world through the power of brands, or through the power of those big brands, because they can reach people.